We are back. Welcome back to the On Deck Circle podcast, brought to you by the Fantasy Six Pack. I'm your only handsome host, Nick Zanaboni. You can find me at nzanaboni93 on Twitter, and that's really all that matters for me on social media because Instagram is kind of boring. It's just my girlfriend and my dog. Unless you want to see those, you can let me know. Anyway, boy, today was the first cold day here in Boston. I'm keeping my hat on because I do not want to pay for heat yet. I'm a cheap bastard, but that's fine with me. So I would like my man Jason to come on in. Jason, are you also on a heat strike in your home?
Unfortunately, I'm not. Got two kids. We've had a couple of days. We've had snow here in Chicago already.
Really?
Yeah, nothing accumulating, but yeah, we've definitely had periods of more than flurries. I think on Saturday, just the other day, it rained, it snowed quite a bit. I mean, obviously it got warm and sunny and then rain melted, but yeah, it's been cold here for about a couple weeks now. So I've had the heat on, unfortunately, because like you, I too am a penny pincher, and
yeah, it's just
I prefer to have it off.
What?
I prefer to have the heat off, but yeah. It's on.
I've got one of those like electric fireplaces on my TV stand, and like that gives off some heat. And I live in a small enough apartment where I can touch like all my walls at once, and so it kind of lets off some heat. But my girlfriend's fighting me on. She wants the heat on. She's blaming the dog.
I got kids. So of course, got to keep the heat on.
But like when I was at my parents' house, they would literally just be like, just throw on a sweatshirt. You'll be fine. The old Italian in me, I guess.
Yeah, when they get older, I'll do that to them.
Dave's definitely like a don't touch the thermostat dad.
Well, I'm definitely that dad. Yeah. I mean, oh yeah. If I find that it's been moved even 1 degree, it's over. I'm going on a rampage, running around the house. Don't touch my thermostat.
That's fantastic. if we're being 100% honest, I don't know where the fuck my thermostat is. My last apartment was in Rhode Island, and that was my last winter, but I haven't been here for a winter yet.
No, okay.
So we'll find out. Parking's going to be sick, too, because I'm literally in the fucking city.
Oh.
So
that'll be fun.
Yeah, can't wait. All right, my question for you, Jason. It kind of has to do with the weather, in case you couldn't guess that was going to happen. What is your favorite, like your optimal weather day? Like I guess you would just be like 75 and sunny. But like,
well, not necessarily. I mean, I like the fall. I like it when it's like
crispy.
In that 60s, middle 60s, where it's like sunny out. You can wear like a hoodie and like some shorts or something.
Yeah. Okay. Like hoodie seasons.
Yeah, but you can still rock some shorts. With the sun shining, it's warm. Yeah. That's ideal.
There's something about like a nice rainy day where like you can not do a damn thing. I don't like days that have expectations.
I agree.
If you wake up and like your wife or my girlfriend is just like, all right, like we
gotta do this,
that and the other. But then there's a day where it's raining and you're like, I'm not doing a thing. I'm gonna sit here on my ass. Maybe a fall day, you throw some college football on, things like that.
I like that too. I like that answer.
I think Dave's going to say we're going on too long. So I'm going to have Dave come. Oh, also, guys, Dave's fucking back.
Like we got him back.
Oh, I'm partially back. You can't see my face. Hey-o!
Oh, there he is.
Your bald hair.
What's up, bitches?
What's up? Back again.
Yeah.
I'm back, and I'm still hatless.
Yeah.
But whatever.
We need to get you like a visor. You strike me as like a visor.
Like a golf visor?
Coach Dave?
Think like John Gruden.
Okay.
Oh,
but
boy.
like visor.
Oh, man. Okay. You want to read my emails?
And you'd be the only emails that come out. All right. Sorry. All right. Dave, my question for you, because you've been gone for so long.
I know. And you turned into a fucking hipster.
If we're being honest here, Dave, I've always been a hipster.
Oh, okay. That's fair.
I've got cardigans in the closet. I got vinyl records that I don't listen to. I'm Brooklyn without the Brooklyn.
Gotcha.
I guess Southie's the
More
same.
like Brooklyn.
Yes, I am broke. Exactly.
All right, what's your question? It's been I don't know how long since you've asked me
All
a
right.
terrible question, so I can't wait.
So this has to do with a tweet you've recently sent.
Oh Christ! Oh, but okay.
It's about the Lions.
Oh, great.
So we're assuming they get the first pick.
Yep, they're getting the first pick.
They can't pick a quarterback.
I mean, they can.
They should.
Would
you rather than
in a perfect
down
world,
and
they should, but there is not going to be one worthy of said pick.
Would you rather trade down and get more future things?
Yes.
And then maybe pick Corral at 6 or something for someone that really wants the Oregon. I don't know how to say his name. I'm sorry.
Thibodeau.
I
mean, listen, I would love Thibodeau, just because they haven't had an elite pass rusher in a long time, and the games are won and lost, to me in the trenches, and they've got a great offensive line, not currently healthy, fully healthy. It's a little bit better now, but not fully healthy. When healthy, that is at bare minimum a top 10 offensive line, maybe a top 5 offensive line. Getting pressure on the quarterback masks a ton of things. So I would love, Thibodeau, but if you're giving me the choice of, Thibodeau or a quarterback, I wish that there was somebody that was yeah, exactly. I mean, good God, man! Like last year was perfect. We had 4 guys that all could have gone, number 1, theoretically.
Who's the best one of that so far?
So far, it's Mac Jones.
I would say Mac Jones probably.
Mac Jones is
Let's go.
the guy. But I mean, Trevor Lawrence is the guy you want.
Oh yes.
But in reality, if any of those 4 guys were in this draft, that would be the guy that the Lions would take at 1.
Yes, I completely agree.
It's just very unfortunate for them that it's going to turn out that this is going to be one of those few years where there is no quarterback available at the top pick. But if they weren't going to get a quarterback and they were to stay at that pick, the next best thing, in my opinion, would to get an elite edge rusher.
Yeah.
So at least that is available to them. In a perfect world, yes, they would trade back to, I don't know, whatever. It's hard to say now, but they trade back to 4, 5, 6 or something like that. Take whoever they feel is the top. Very, very well, the guy from Cincinnati, I guess, would be my pick at the moment. And then, I don't know what you get on top of that, but you probably get a first next year, maybe an additional first this year, and some change. But you're not going to win without a QB in that league. So I don't care if literally Myles Garrett could be available in this draft, and I still would rather have a quarterback. You know what I mean? I mean, you could give me any current defensive player in the NFL, and I still would rather have the chance to take Trevor Lawrence.
Yes.
Even seeing what he's done so far this year. So, yeah.
So, did I do a good job with the questions?
Yes, you actually asked me a non-stupid question this week, so I appreciate that. You always ask me things. No, listen, let me be fair. You always ask good questions. They just are bad questions for me.
Pertain to you.
Yeah, they're bad questions for me personally because apparently my knowledge is very tunneled. It's not wide ranging. It's very small window.
Fair enough.
So let's get into a little perfect draft. What do you say?
All right, I gotta get my list out.
God, this to me is almost a top of the head kind of thing. But
I'm always ready.
So here's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna take the first pick this time.
I was just gonna say you should take it
because I have not had the first pick yet, and and I can just do that kind of shit, I guess. So what we're gonna do here is, I'm a Tigers fan. Jason is a Cubs fan, and Nick is a Red Sox fan. Shouldn't be news to anyone there. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go 3 rounds. I think we're gonna do. And we're gonna go with free agents that we would like for our team to sign. So I suppose if you're not a Detroit, Chicago, or Boston fan, this is not going to be super exciting for you, but that's what we're going to do anyways. So Oh, we got some comments. Hold on a second.
Oh God.
Oh, okay. Well, this is turning into a football thing. Do you think Alvin Kamara plays this week? And then he goes,
Look at
"Oh,
that.
my bad. I didn't realize this was baseball."
Yes. Kamara
I
is.
don't know if Alvin Kamara is going to play, but if he does,
You heard it here first.
I don't really like that QB situation anymore. So even though Kamara is as elite as it comes, maybe shy away for better options. But I haven't looked at matchups or anything this week, so I don't even know who the Saints play, honestly. But I'm sorry, Matt. You got the wrong show right now. But
Come back on Thursday. Joe will have your answer.
So let's go free agents that we want our teams to sign. I guess it doesn't have to be realistic if you don't want it to, but I'm going to try to keep mine realistic. Yeah, me too. I'm going to make them realistic and relevant. So
I know
obviously,
all of Jason's.
Tigers already signed Eduardo Rodriguez. He would not have been my number 1 pick, but he would have been probably my number 2 theoretically because the guy I'm going to go with is a shortstop, and ideally I could just go, well, this shortstop, and if they don't get him, this shortstop, and if they don't get him, this shortstop, but I'm not going to play that game. I'm going to take the number 1 pick. I'm going to say Carlos Correa. I think that's dead obvious. I don't think that's a big surprise.
Is that going to happen?
I don't know. I think it's going to happen.
No, but there's a lot of steam there, and I don't understand why.
Well, I mean, AJ Hinch came from the Astros.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
So him and Correa are pretty tight. Tigers desperately need a shortstop. Tigers, believe it or not, have plenty of money to spend. Outside of Miguel Cabrera, they don't have much on the contract, much as far as salary goes. His contract is coming up to being done. Tigers aren't signing him, or Tigers wouldn't sign him because they're going for it in 2022. It's more, we get Eduardo Rodriguez, we get Carlos Correa, maybe we get another guy that we talk about here later on, and we start building, we get up Torkelson, we get up Green, we get a full year of, Manning, Skubal, and we're kind of, laying the groundwork to where we can spend a little bit more in 2023. And now we're playing ball. And obviously shortstop is a huge need for the Tigers. And there are literally a handful of very good shortstops that are available now. So if you don't get one this year, I don't know exactly what's going to be there next year. So Carlos Correa, obvious fit. I do have concerns about the contract. It's probably going to be something he's probably looking neighborhood of, 10 years, $300 and some million. That's a huge contract. And correct me if I'm wrong, but to the best of my knowledge, nobody that has signed a contract of that size has turned around and won a World Series ring. So it doesn't necessarily typically work out as far as titles are concerned, but I mean, that's the price you pay to compete, in baseball. So Carlos Correa, pick 1-1. I'll let you guys decide who goes 1-2.
Jason, take it.
Oh, all right. Well, the good thing about the Cubs is they got a million holes in the lineup and they got a ton of money to spend. So
they got a bunch of former Cubs that are free agents.
And let's see how willing they are to start ponying up some of this money, because I think I could be wrong, but I think right now on the books they have. I mean, we're talking like Miami Marlins money here. I think we got like $50 million on the books for 2022 right now. Which, from Cubs standpoint, that's like, you should be pennies to them, but I don't know what their plan is going forward. But they need to start spending some of this money, because remember, there is a floor for the salary cap. So I'm going to think big.
Never be anywhere near the floor.
That's what I'm saying, right? I mean, this is like one of the biggest teams markets in the country.
Neither of the three of us should ever have a team that is talking about the floor. Like, we're not the Pirates. We're not the Marlins.
We're not Miami. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, so
I'm going to think big here. I'm going to say, go out on a limb here. I would love to see them bring in someone like a Freddie Freeman. Probably wouldn't happen, just because I don't think Freddie Freeman would come here. But hey, this is a perfect draft. This is a fake draft, and I'm going to go on a limb and say, if I'm a Cubs head front office, I'm going to go with Freddie Freeman.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you think that they're going to be competing 2022 or 2023, it's similar to the Tigers, right? Where the Tigers wouldn't sign Carlos Correa because they're going 2022. It's they're building up and they're ramping up to compete shortly. And Freddie Freeman is good of a hitter as there is in baseball. So, I think
Detroit's a little bit closer to competing than the Cubs are at this point.
I fucking hope so.
But again, this is, I took it a little bit out of the box. I think it goes quite as realistic, but hey, it's not out of realistic. So
no, there's almost no way he doesn't go to the Braves.
Right.
But yeah, gotcha. What do you got there, Nick? Red Sox.
All right. So these next two picks are probably going to be the coolest players to ever wear a Red Sox uniform. One, we have Marcus Stroman.
Yeah, that makes sense.
He fits in. He's a little bit better than Erod is, so fits that hole that's now in our rotation.
He won't break the bank.
He'd just be cool as hell.
Yeah, yep. I'm a Stroman fan.
My only thing is, I feel like him and David Price are close, and David Price did not like his time in Boston, so I don't know if that would matter. But money talks.
Yeah,
so
money talks, man.
Stroman is number one. And then number two, which I didn't even have this guy on my list until I actually saw a report today, Javi Baez. Throw him at second base, and I guess there's a chance.
Does he want to play second base, though?
I don't give a fuck.
Well, I know you
he has before.
But Javi Baez gives a fuck. Is he really going to it'd be a great signing.
It'd be fucking sick.
But I don't know that he would prefer that over playing shortstop for a contender. He could go sign with the Yankees, play no offense, but could play shortstop and be on a contender. Well, I'm just saying,
the Red Sox are a contender.
No, I know, but
no,
I just feel like he's gonna say, I'm an elite defender. I want to play shortstop. Yeah. Maybe. Yeah, it's not crazy, but I just feel like
it's just hopeful because him and Stroman, that would be the coolest press conference ever because they just have so much swag.
So it's been determined that I'm the only one who's going to keep it reasonable. Okay, got it.
These are reasonable. Javi Baez has been reported by John Heyman.
I would be surprised if he signed in Boston to play second base.
I would also be surprised.
But I wouldn't be shocked. I would just be like, oh, that's interesting.
Back to Jason.
All right. This one, maybe I'm not a surprise, but I'm going to go with Chris Bryant. Got to get him back here. Probably won't happen.
There's no way, right, though?
I don't think so. Now the Scott Boras client. We've seen, like I said, the Cubs, I don't know what their direction is right now, and it's kind of making me sad thinking about it because this team is literally a triple-A team right now. You're talking about your best pitcher right now is Kyle Hendricks and Wade Miley. What's going on here? Our whole hitting lineup, there's not even, there's nobody on the team. It's a triple-A team. I don't know what going on here. And the guys are spending some money. I don't know where they're going to spend it, but that's to be determined. So why not Chris Bryant? But again, I don't think it'll happen because he's going to want probably $25 million a year at least. I don't know if he's worth that much, but we'll see how it goes. But if of the core that got traded away, he's who I want back just because of the versatility that he brings.
Mm-hmm. Fair.
Yeah, no, I get it. So I think the second one for me is not just realistic, but it also is maybe kind of obvious, and that's Justin Verlander. I think that, Verlander, it's been talked about when the Tigers traded him, it was talked about, what would be perfect? What would be perfect is this is, the absolute kick of the rebuild. It's going to be a few years before his contract is up. The timing of it would probably work out to where he can go and win a ring or two, and then he can come home to finish his career when the Tigers are kind of ramping things back up. And that's exactly what has happened. He is a free agent. The Tigers have an absolute need for him. Now that they have, Erod, it's not a desperate need for a starter, but they definitely have a need for a starter. Right now, their fifth starter is Tyler Alexander. So if they get Verlander as well, now you're looking at a starting rotation that consists of Mize, Skubal, Manning, Erod, and Verlander. That's a playoff caliber rotation. Offense is still lacking a little bit. I doubt that we see Torkelson, in green right off the bat. You'll see him at some point during the season. Maybe Dingler even makes it up towards the end of the season. So that's a really good, push to it's a possible playoff team at that point, depending on how things fall. But he would be a guy that you probably get, 2 years out of. Maybe you get 3 years out of him still. Mm-hmm. So, he's a guy that'll be there for you. The next one's a little bit hard. I will give you two names. And what I will say is if we don't get Verlander, which is possible, I've heard him, rumored a lot of ways. I wouldn't mind seeing John Gray come to Detroit again. Same kind of situation, a little bit more of a long-term solution than Verlander, but I think everyone would rather have Verlander. So if we don't get Verlander, John Gray has been a name that I've heard a lot of. That was prior to Rodriguez, though. A lot of people have talked about Max Scherzer, but that's not going to happen. There's no way they sign him. I don't think he would come back to Detroit. He turned down an extension from Detroit, so I'd be shocked if he came back. So a more reasonable name and a guy that would be a pretty good fit for us because we do need offensive help. Even if we don't sign another pitcher, our rotation is still pretty good. And, whether we get Correa or not, I think Michael Conforto would be a really nice fit there. He's a guy that I think is a little bit more valuable than, maybe what his current, market value is. We have a need in the outfield for sure. Obviously we have, like I said, need for a bat as well. So I think Michael Conforto would be my third pick.
All right. Well, my last pick, I know if the Cubs are going to spend money, it's definitely going to be on the starting rotation because, like I said, we have right now we have Kyle Hendricks and Wade Miley as our two penciled-in starters, which let me tell you, that's something to get excited about right there. But I think if they're going to spend money, it's going to be the starting rotation. And if all of the pitchers that are still available, I wanted Stroman. Unfortunately, Nick took that earlier in the rounds. I would like someone like Kevin Gossman because they're going to have somebody come in, eat innings, get people in the seats. You know what I mean? This is a Cubs team that's, again, struggling with identity at this point. So you got to get people in the seats, got to sell jerseys. Stroman would be a perfect fit for that. I think he brings that type of personality that the team would need to get, attendance and sales and stuff like that. But aside from that, I would also love Carlos Rodon, but he's obviously not going to jump sides of town unless the money talks. Even then, I'm not sure. But so I'm going to go with Kevin Gossman.
Yeah, Rodon is the guy I would love to see in Detroit as well. That would have been before we got, Rodriguez. I haven't heard his name to Detroit. I brought up, Gray because I have heard that rumor a lot. I've never heard Rodon, but he's got more upside than those other guys. He's also got, a lot lower floors we've seen as well. So I don't know if, this season before the injury was the outlier or if we finally have seen what Carlos Rodon can do when he is, healthy and in the right mindset. Because, when he came out and he was drafted, I thought that he was already, just instantly one of the top, 30 pitchers in baseball. And it took a while to reach that point. But someone's either going to get an absolute steal with Rodon or they're going to just piss away a bunch of money. And I think it's more likely that they get a steal.
I agree.
And we brought it up last week, too, with Nick brought up, it's going to be kind of interesting because the CBA is expiring, too. So I don't know what's going to happen with, some teams have already started to spend the money.
I was surprised we've seen so many signings already. Because
I think I would rather get ahead of the curve personally. So, I would. But you also could see other players who might have thoughts in mind of what that CBA might look like and say, you know what, I'm not going to sign until we see what happens. I've heard rumors that's the Correa situation. Correa will not be signing
until
anytime soon. Yeah.
All right. Fine.
Another perfect draft complete. That was good.
It's me, isn't it? I only have two.
Yeah, you got one left.
Oh, sorry.
Jason. What the fuck, bro?
I thought it was reversed the other way.
They can get, man.
Yeah.
Tell me you're re-signing Schwarber. or since you need rotation help, my boy Dan here, who I actually made a trade with here within the last hour, he wants Mad Max to go to the Angels and join Syndergaard, and Lord knows that's what the Angels need is some pitching. I am going with Schwarber. Good.
Dude, I don't know if you guys fully understand how much Boston loves Kyle Schwarber.
It makes sense though. Like he sounds like he just feels like a Red Sox. Like he really just
Schwaba.
Have you heard about this Kyle from Waltham stuff?
No.
Jason May? No. So Carabas started this whole thing that Kyle Schwarber's from this town of Waltham in Massachusetts. And he's not.
And-
But like
Right.
they named like a park after the guy, like in just like 3 months. It's just like it's Kyle from Waltham. It's Kyle from he was wearing a Waltham High t-shirt like after the game. It was just crazy. So I'm all in on Schwarber. He's so much fun. He's a big doughboy.
He plays well in that park too, man. That short right field.
Mike Napoli. And Mike Napoli did very well here. Like, we love him. We love just like the big burly man. I mean, who doesn't love a big burly man?
You know? and I'll tell you, man, I mean, and we saw this last year. When Schwarber is hot, he is as good of a hitter as anybody in baseball. When he is cold, and Jason knows this, Jason knows this better than any of us. When he is cold, it's a big old whatever. But man, when that dude is hot, man, he is an elite bat. You
definitely get your ups and downs with Schwarber, that's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. All right, I tend to make things run a little long here, but that's okay. Let's get into our Dynasty Deep Dive here, and
I'll be fast on these ones. Don't worry.
Okay, fair enough. But we did the same thing as before, just not on air, where we did it. We did a little random number guess here, and we came up with a Nolan Ryan baseball, and so we had to do a podcast vote between the Rangers and Astros, and we went ahead and picked the Astros. So let's go ahead and start with pitching, because God knows we love our pitchers around here. Mm-hmm. Since I'm already running my mouth, I guess I can go first. And like I said before, and I'll reiterate since I've been gone for like 6 months, I like to go a little bit off the radar just to kind of give either players in deeper leagues or just a little bit something off the page when I can. And for the Astros, that was easy for me when it came to pitcher. I like Josh James, and I think that would be a guy that I would recommend depending on your league and league size that you may look into. Kind of a name that's been forgotten about by a lot of people. But after the 2018 season, he was one of the hottest young pitching names being talked about in Dynasty, during that offseason. Had a pretty short but very impressive stint at the end of 2018. 23 innings pitched, struck out 29 guys, only walked 7, came in with an ERA a little bit over 2. 2019, definitely not as nice. Had absolute elite K numbers, fanned 100 guys in just a little over 61 innings. But it was the start of, what had been, some injury-plagued years here, heading all the way through this year. He still never really was able to maintain health. But heading into 2022, James is just 28 years old. So for a pitcher, that is, absolutely right, hitting his prime. Unfortunately, though, for him, Astros starting rotation is pretty stacked. So, he's likely to make an impact in the bullpen if he's going to make an impact. With those K numbers, with his upside, he easily could slide into a setup role pretty easily and provide you, with really good counting stats out of the pen. And especially, definitely if you're in a league that, has holds, he definitely is a guy that, you may want to look at targeting. Could give you some good ratios. Will definitely give you elite K rate. But that's likely his ceiling for 2022. But, it's not a pipe dream that he could come in and be an elite setup guy. I think that that's entirely possible. Mm-hmm. The pipe dream scenario would come into beyond 2022 where, things fall however they are, whether it's injuries, whether it's his performance, whatever the case may be. In 2023, he gets a shot back in the rotation where he could turn into a fantasy stud just because he has the stuff. I just don't know that, he would remain healthy enough for that to happen. And to be honest, the opportunities might not present himself. But that's a lot of upside potentially for a guy that I feel like you can get pretty cheap in dynasty leagues right now.
Good pick.
Yeah. I'll follow that up with someone that's actually almost in that same exact boat, and that's Christian Javier. He was a popular name here at the beginning of the season as a potential sleeper pick after a great 2020. He followed that up again in 2021 with another great season. He finished with just over 100 innings pitched. Most of that was as a reliever because, as Dave said earlier, the Astros right now, their rotation, they got a ton of these young, high K rate guys. Josh James, Christian Javier, Framber Valdez. They'll kind of fit that same mold, and where they're going to fit in the rotation is still to be determined. But we saw Javier, his K rate improved by almost 5% from 2020 to 2021. Both his K rate and whiff rate rank in the top 20% of the league. Both have also saw significant increases from 2020 to 2021. He also raised his chase percentage in 2021. So I mean, if he can, like you said, like they said with Josh James, if he can win a rotation spot in 2022 and then even beyond that, he's someone that I think that can contribute high K rates, good ratios. He's on a decent team that's going to get you wins. Still only 24 years old, so he could even improve as he gets older as a starter. So I'd be looking to buy him now while you can.
Good one, Jace. Who would you say the ace is of the Astros staff?
Not Justin Verlander, bitches. Come to Detroit.
Is it McCullers?
Yeah, I think Greinke is a free agent, and
Greinke was also trash. So let's slow our roll.
Yeah, I mean, I would say if I had, I don't know. That's kind of one of those where
they kind of have a bunch of threes or a bunch of twos.
Well, they've got 5 really good starting pitchers, but not an ace. I mean, McCullers, Valdez, Garcia, Urquidy, Javier. None of them are aces, but they're all good. Yeah, a little bit.
So it's like that Spider-Man meme where it's like same.
They're all just the same guys, except for McCullers, because he's like a chubby, like Dominican guy. So my guy is Lance McCullers.
Nice.
I'm gonna throw out some stats for you guys that are gonna be jarring for you. All right.
All right. I'm ready. I'm sitting down.
The most important stat for pitchers: 13 wins. That was.
No, that's
what if I play in the league as quality starts?
Oh, do you want to know how many quality starts he had?
Sure.
36. No, I'm just kidding. I have no idea.
I was like, what?
Oh. But if I told you who was my favorite wrestler in the 90s, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Okay.
Oh.
Do we know what his catchphrase was? Stone Cold Steve Austin. What numbers come after his name?
316?
316 is my man Lance McCullers' ERA.
Oh God.
185.
This sounds like, listen, what this sounds like now is this sounds like you're, I don't want to, I was going to say something that we got to cancel here. I'll tell you after the air what I was going to say. And then I'm like, you know what? I better be careful. What you sound like is someone who doesn't follow college basketball and they're filling out their bracket and they're like, oh, okay. The Kansas Jayhawks or
Stephen F.
or USA, the USC Trojans. Well, I don't like condoms, so I'm going to pick the Kansas Jayhawks.
Well, Jayhawks kind of what you sound USC. But also, he's got a good 5-pitch mix. This is mostly just because I thought our show started at 8 today.
No, it's a good pick. He's still young.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
He's been good. He's just relatively consistent other than his injuries, but
yeah, if he stays healthy, he's a great pitcher.
Yeah.
We say that about every goddamn pitcher though, don't we, basically? Well, if he's healthy,
healthy, he's good.
Yeah. So is everybody else. We should just stop doing pitchers.
No, never.
Let's get the hitters. Nick, why don't you go ahead and get us going with the hitters?
All right. My guy, Ted Williams 2.0.
Kyle Tucker. I love Kyle Tucker.
I love Kyle Tucker.
I got Kyle Tucker. As a matter of fact, here's how much I love Kyle Tucker.
I made a Kyle Tucker mistake 4 years ago, and I just got rid of him after a startup draft. I shouldn't.
We've all been there, though. You trade those, prospects. Ooh, a bat. I thought it was going to be a ball.
Yeah, that's sick. Where did you get that? Oh, he cannot hear us.
Yeah.
Come on, Dave.
Oh, is it backwards?
Where did you get that?
I got it from your mom for Christmas.
We were just talking about how we were impressed that it was a bat and not a ball.
Oh, I've got I don't know. I probably have 5 or 6 Kyle Tucker balls up there too. But I think the bat's cool because the bat, if can you tell it's orange? It's not
cool.
It's not a black.
It does kind of come off as like
Yeah,
see,
that's cool. That's black. Yeah, it's a game model bat, so that's literally the kind of bat that he uses, in the game. So yeah, that's a super cool. That's one of my cooler bats.
Well, my guy Kyle Tucker batted a cool 293, 30 homers, 92 RBIs. This is he went past his eligibility for the Rookie of the Year last year, but that's Rookie of the Year. Not like he would have beat a Rosarena. I don't think he.
You want in a Rosarena bat too?
Wait, you have a Rosarena bat too?
You want me to grab it or no?
Is it cool or no?
Well, the ball's cooler. You want to see the ball?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, I got a cooler ball. Give me 1 second.
All right, I'm just gonna keep talking while he gets that. He stole 12 bags, which is not important to me, but some people like stolen bases. So that's cool. And if you go to his baseball savant page, it's fucking right out the ass. All right,
it's a World Series ball.
Oh, that is cool.
That is cool.
Yeah, I had to get that after that World Series he had. The bat's fairly generic. It's just a blonde Louisville slugger. But yeah, the ball, I love that World Series ball. Like that's a little extra juice because that's where a lot of people remember him from is that breakout in the playoffs and the World Series.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Okay. All right.
Well, I'll follow that up, and I will go with another young budding hitter for the Astros, and that's Yordan Alvarez, their DH.
I got a Yordan Alvarez bat. You want to see it?
I'm pretty sure any guy we read off, like, I got that. I'm not shocked by the amount of balls you have behind your head.
I'm curious what kind of Yordan bat. Oh, dude, it's a super sweet Yordan bat too.
Get it, Dave.
I'm right back.
I'll talk while you get the bat. I mean, this guy, former AL Rookie of the Year in 2019. When he hit 27 home runs in only 87 games. He had a little bit of trouble staying healthy in 2020, but he's back healthy in 2021, and he hasn't even missed a beat. In 2021, he slashed 277, 346, 531, has this mean autograph, as shown here by Dave on screen. Yeah, that's actually a very nice autograph.
Yeah, Rookie of the Year bat. This, again, is another game model bat.
The silver Sharpie.
The handle is silver. Yeah, the handle's silver. This is orange, like the Tucker bat. Yeah, it's got that's a super sweet bat. This is, again,
that's really nice.
Another one of the super cool ones.
Yeah, and then he slashed 33 home runs with 104 RBIs. And if you even look at his advanced stats, like Nick said, you go to the Savant page, it's just flooded with red. He ranks in the top 5% talent, exit velo, average exit velo, hard hit rate, X slugging, X ISO, barrels. Should I continue? He's only 20. He's only 24 years old still. Right now his stock is through the roof because the dude's just a stud and he's young. But if you can somehow buy Yordan right now in Dynasty, do it. he's a stud, and will continue to be a stud.
Yeah, he's top 20 for me in Dynasty. My last rankings are from August, but he's 16th in those rankings. Sandwich between
if you're looking to
Robert
flip
and Freeman, just ahead of Wander Franco. I'm super high on Yordan for sure. It's kind of funny. I don't plan this out with the balls and the bats. I just happen to have everyone that we're talking about today.
You just happen to have everybody.
As a matter of fact, my hitter, I've got a futures game ball up there of, which I'm sure you don't want me to grab, but I've got a Alex Bregman futures game ball up there. So before he was, the guy, even though he hasn't been the guy for a little while. Alex Bregman, the reason I wanted to bring him up, because you have a lot of choices here when it comes to hitters on the Astros. He's one of my favorite buy low guys, for this off season. And this was absolutely not planned, but I actually had wrote this up and decided I was going to talk about him before I made a trade for him today in a Dynasty League. Does anyone want to hear what I traded for Alex Bregman in a Dynasty League.
I do.
I do actually.
So, like I said, one of the guys that I think is one of the better buy low candidates, and I think I got a steal of a deal. Jason, this is going to hurt your heart just a little bit because I did give up a guy that I know that you love. I gave up a guy that I like off of the Tigers. And then I gave up a guy that I think a dynasty is undervalued, but I mean, for what I get for Bregman, I mean, it was a no-brainer for me. So worst piece I gave up Spencer Strider, the prospect for the Braves. I think he's got a decent ceiling, but who knows what you're going to get out of him. I gave up Michael Fulmer, who unfortunately is a bullpen piece now, but I did write an article for Prospects 1500, like 3 or 4 years ago, where I totally called Michael Fulmer moving to the bullpen and being the closer for the Tigers. So I can hang my head on that one a little bit. And then, Jason, I gave up Brendan Davis.
I got Brendan Davis this week.
Yeah, see, there you go. I don't think that's bad for Alex Bregman.
No, not at all.
I mean,
I'd easily do that deal.
Yeah, Brendan Davis and Bregman. I mean, they're comparable in my.
I was gonna say, yeah.
I mean, they're not. I mean, again, this is from August, but if I look back here, Bregman is 30th, and Brendan Davis is.
I feel like
92nd.
What you hope is that Brendan Davis can be the bat that Bregman is. You know what I mean? Like, there's no guarantee that he comes up and Bregman's that kind of proven commodity and plays, outfield's it's a bit of a deeper position than third base. Third base dries up really fast right now in fantasy baseball. So I do that deal in a heartbeat.
My guy Drew here wants to talk about our Spencer Torkelson trade that I made. God, I don't even know when I made that. What was that, Friday?
Was that in 30 Rock?
It was in 30 Rock, yep.
Can we just take a quick minute and 30 Rock is just insane with the trades. It's like the trade's open and there's 300 trades in a day.
And I definitely started the last run of trades. I made a handful of trades here. Let me see exactly what I gave up for Torkelson here. Oh boy.
Yeah, you said something and I went and looked and I'm like, my God, there was probably at least 10 trades in the first day that trading opened.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so okay. So I gave up some guys that I like, and I gave up a ton of picks to Drew here. I gave up. We know my love of PCA. I've talked about him numerous times here. Gave up PCA, but I'm literally, that's a win now team in 30 for me. So as much as I love PCA
is only 19.
Happy to get rid of him. I gave up Sixto, a guy that, if you remember, I believe I got at a pretty good price, and I gave up 3 future first round picks. Yeah,
didn't you flip Sixto the same day? Like, you got Sixto and then flipped him for Torkelson?
I may have. I made a lot of trades that day. Let me go back to my team here.
I went. You said you had texted me. You're like, I think you sent me a flurry of my trades. I'm like, I actually did. And I went and looked, and I was like, oh, actually, there was a lot of trades today.
Yep. So the day started off. I gave up another guy that I love. I guess I love all the guys that I own, right? But I gave up Julio Urias. I got Sixto, Gabriel Moreno, Matt Manning, and a first round pick. And then I made a trade with Nick. I forgot about this. I gave him JD Davis. He needed.
I saw that.
I had made a trade. I had gotten a third baseman earlier. Actually, that wasn't even the first trade I made. Anyways, I had made a trade. I needed some outfield help. 2 guys that had outfield eligibility were Patrick Wisdom and John Birdie. I got those guys. The guy that I made that trade with let me know that Nick was possibly interested in one or both of those guys because he needed a third baseman. So we kind of tried to do a 3-way trade. Didn't really work out.
Didn't.
So after the fact, I knew that I was going to reach out to Nick and offer, one of my third basemen. He liked JD Davis. I needed pitching. I got back Cal Quantrill and picked 210, so basically pick 40. And then I made that Torkelson deal. And so that was that. But anyways, Alex Bregman is what we were talking about. But yeah, Bregman, love him. Like I said, buy low. MVP caliber season 2019. And then we had the 2020 season. We had, this last year where, I feel like he was hurt. He just had wrist surgery. So we'll see exactly what happens when he comes back next year. Still a great lineup, in Houston. He's still going to be batting right in the middle of it. That team, the only hole I had on offense was third base. That is a stacked team that I have. I had Gavin Biggio as my third baseman with Gio Urshela is like my backup. And so I was looking to upgrade that position, and I think Bregman does that.
I agree.
So we'll see. I don't think I gave up more than I could afford for basically a win now team. I don't know that I'll win a title in 2022, but I'm going to be close. And, it's more of I'm playing for, 2023, 2024, 2025 kind of stuff. So let's see. Do we have Nick? Are you up for your hitter?
No.
Anyway,
prospects.
We're on the prospects now.
So on the prospects. All right. Well, I'll go first. I don't like pitching prospects, but I also really don't like the Astros farm system. And so I kind of, again, like I said with Josh James, I like to go a little bit off the page with my guys. So I wanted to pick what I felt was the lowest rated Astros prospect that I liked. And I didn't have to go too far down to get to Alex Santos.
I don't know.
He was, well, you should. I'm going to give you a little bit of knowledge. So take some notes here. 72nd overall pick in the 2020 draft. Prep arm out of New York City. Absolute prototypical Astros type pitching prospect. They're very into advanced metrics, and one of their big things is spin rate, and that's kind of where Santos stands out, specifically with his fastball, with his curveball as well. Got a real nice four-seamer, sits low 90s, can pump that up to 98 if he wants to. Best pitch, though, is that curveball, his off-speed pitch. He throws that thing in the high 70s. Great shape on it. Just a devastating, strikeout pitch. Definitely a really nice two-pitch mix that he has there, which is going to be good enough to dominate the low minors. But once we get him up to AA, get him up to AAA, get him up to the big league level, just having a good fastball and a really good curveball is only going to get you so far. Does have a changeup that he throws. Doesn't throw it very often, but again, at the low levels, it hasn't been necessary. I'm hoping 2022, I don't really care what his numbers look like so much, is I want him to define that pitch and, get a good feel for it, because if and when he gets up to the big league level, it's going to be crucial if he's going to be a starter that he has more than just that fastball and curveball combination. He's going to need, at bare minimum, that changeup to be successful, at the highest level. Probably the most exciting thing for me, for him being a prospect, is that he's got a very clean, very repeatable delivery, leads to pretty decent command. His walk rates are a little bit high, but they're not too concerning. But that delivery should give him every opportunity to be a starter. I feel like he's got a minimal chance compared to other pitching prospects of having to worry about, hurting his arm, getting Tommy John, because he does have a very easy delivery and he can still pump out the gas. So he would be the kind of guy that I would have a little less worry about, getting one of those almost guaranteed arm injuries these days.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I'm going to follow that up with, let's put it this way. The Astros, like Dave said, the hitters are pretty bad in that system. There's a few outliers, but not very good ones. But I one of the guys that I think could become something kind of soon is Jeremy Pena. He plays middle infield, mostly shortstop. He was the Astros' third-round pick in the 2018 draft. Mostly drafted for his defense, as he's a plus defender. It probably was the top college defender in that 2018 class. He went to the highly touted Maine University. But but yeah, his defense would have got him drafted. It's good enough to probably stay at shortstop. And, what do you know? We're talking about Carlos Correa leaving. So the Astros are basically have a hole at shortstop right now. I mean, they could sign somebody, but we'll see. They did get him up in the AAA in 2021. He only saw 30 games at AAA this year, but he at AAA he slashed 287, 346, 598. Had a WOBA 387 and a weighted runs created plus a 126 at AAA. So I mean, that kind of shows you got a little bit of some pop, not pop, but he could probably, it's a bat that could play at the major league level. It's not going to hit for a ton of power. He could probably hit somewhere in the range of like 15, maybe 20 on a good year. Going to have a decent average. And he probably projects more as the top of the order bat. If he can get that average and that OBP where it's at right now, I can see him hitting 2 if he's lucky. Again, I wouldn't not super over the moon for him, but it's a system way to go through. So
it's not what it once was, but I mean,
right.
For a team that has had the success that the Astros have had,
right? You can't imagine the system.
Yeah, give me a shitty farm system all day long.
Yep.
All right, my guy is somebody that was on top of this farm system. Probably, hold on, wait 1 second. I should.
3 years ago,
2019, 2020. As far as 2020, he was a top prospect in this system, and he's currently, according to MLB.com, number 5, and that is Forrest Whitley, who is someone I think people forgot about how good he actually really is.
Well, how good he really was.
Okay.
I mean, there were a lot of questions about him before he got hurt anyways. He had been pretty disappointing. He had never really lived up to the hype, to be fair.
Yes, I agree.
But very highly rated prospect.
He's 6'7". He can figure it out. I think worst case scenario, he's an elite bullpen arm. But still, that's an elite bullpen arm. He has the stuff. I think the Tommy John's this is gonna be a case where people are gonna be like, oh, like it might like just pitching differently might help him. Like have a different approach. Having you don't need to throw 99 every time. You can pitch instead of throwing hard. And I think he was too busy focusing on throwing hard because he could, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I'm hopeful for Whitley. I think so. What year is it now? 20. So he probably won't be able to pitch this coming year, right?
Maybe at the end of the season. I think you got Tommy John at the beginning of this year, right? Beginning of 2021.
But he's going to have to ramp up. Yeah, you probably don't see him at the big.
He's a 2023 guy.
Yeah. You hope that he gets 5 to 10 starts in the minors this year.
Yeah.
So he throws
throw him in the bullpen in October.
So maybe he gets 30, 35 innings or something is probably what you're looking at this year.
Yeah. So he's just someone that I would definitely because his stock's at an all-time low. What do you think?
Big time buy low.
I've had people in 30 Rock message me trying to get him. I'm getting fucking bullshit offers, but that's fine.
Well,
I'm just gonna hold on.
That's
because
his
he's hurt
at the moment. Yeah.
But I'd rather just hold on. Him not working out is worth the gamble over a fifth.
Yeah. No, I mean, if I owned Whitley, I would not consider anything less than a first in that league. Even then, I probably would hold on. It depends on. Of course, it depends. All three of us have different teams in 30 Rock. Jason is very much in rebuild mode. So Jason, if he owns Forrest Whitley, there's not a lot there's probably nothing that somebody would trade that would make sense for
right.
Jason would need you to give him Nick Lodolo. Well, if you had Nick Lodolo, why the fuck would you want Forrest Whitley?
Right.
Then you got Nick's team, who is a little bit more on the rebuild side, but it's close. It's gonna be a competitive
team.
Yeah, he's gonna have a competitive team. It's just probably not going to be enough as it sits today to break into the top 5. I mean, it could be a top 10 team, but he doesn't have a winning team at the moment, probably. Then you got my team, which is very much win now. Probably a top 10 team. Need some things to go right to get up into the top 3, but possible. So it kind of depends on, who you have, what kind of team you have, as compared to what you would do for Whitley. So Nick may be in a situation where if he can get the right offer, maybe dumping him off would be good. But as you said, he's not getting the kind of offer that it would make sense for. Jason, it'd be crazy for Jason to trade him.
Right.
If I owned him, I probably would want to get rid of him because he's not going to do a damn thing for me for at least a year, maybe 2. So if I could get like a Seawald for him, just a really solid reliever, that may make sense for me. So yeah, kind of depends. So to wrap it up here real quick, boys, we got 2 options. Number 1, we can privately behind the scenes figure out our team for next week. We'll do it the same way we have been doing it, but off camera. Or we can do the raffle real quick here. You can give me some numbers. I can pull the ball off. We can pick our team right now.
Let's do it right now.
Let's do it right now, bro.
All right. I need a number 1 to 3, Jason.
1.
1. I need a number 1 through 9, Nick.
2.
1, 2. I need a number 1 through 9, Jason.
2.
All right. Be right back.
For those of you that do not know,
okay.
we are having a mock coming up.
All right, boys. All right, we got a really good one here. Do we want to take any? Do you want me to give you some hints, or want me to just tell you what we got?
My laptop's at 1%. So
just tell us what we got.
World Series champion, Atlanta Braves. We got a Kyle Wright baseball.
Okay.
All right.
So
Perfect.
Next week we're going to go Atlanta Braves.
I can do that.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
and then wait, real quick before we go, Nick was talking about it. We do have a first-year player draft mock getting ready to get lined up here, so we will be, getting that going, and then once completed, we will be reviewing our mock draft. So that's something to look forward
how many
to.
teams? How many rounds?
I think we're doing. Did we say 3 or 5?
It was like 3 or 4, I thought maybe. I'm not sure yet, but I think it depends on people we get. I think we already got like 10 guys already. I think so.
I need to figure out how to set
up. So maybe 3. We'll figure it out.
Let's just shoot for. Let's try to go very common. Let's try to shoot for 12 teams, 5 rounds.
Perfect.
Okay. All right.
That's pretty.
Stay tuned for that. Yep. Stay tuned for that. Big things coming.
Maybe Nick, next week you can get us a list of names, because I know we've got.
A list. I just need to.
Because I know off the top of my head a couple guys that have said that they're in. What do we got? Like they got Eric Cross, I think. Jesse Roach.
They'll be joining us.
We got some names like that are going to be part of this. So
yeah.
So
stay tuned.
It'll be good, and we'll kind of run through. Maybe we'll see if we can get Eric or Jesse or both of them on. And Nick's laptop is dead.
It's dead.
Joking. He wasn't joking. So all right, Jason.
All right, guys.
We'll catch you next week, buddy.
Yep. Later.